Hello everyone, I welcome you all to today's Focus of the Day session. In today's session, we are going to talk about National Curriculum Framework, which is being designed by the Government of India underneath new education policy, and in fact for creation of this new curriculum framework, a survey is being conducted, and that is what we are going to focus about in our today's discussion. So we shall be following a sequence, that is why the National Curriculum Framework is in news, then about National Curriculum Framework, about the survey being conducted, and followed by the prelims and mains based practice questions for you all. But before I move any further in my discussion, I want you all to be informed about new polity and ethics foundation courses for 2023 that are going to be starting on 18th and 29th of August. These subjects are going to be taught by Nitin Shivhare sir of Analyst IAS. To inquire more about the courses and the admission, you need to call on this particular number. And in fact, I would ask you to hurry up since the seats are limited, and these courses can add a lot of value to your preparation for UPSC CSE. Now, let's get back to the topic. Why it is in news? Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has urged citizens to participate in citizensurvey for National Curriculum Framework in achieving Viksit Bharat, that is developed India. So, a citizen survey. Yes, government is trying to reach out to the citizens and collect their opinion regarding the formation of National Curriculum Framework, and the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has urged, requested and called upon the citizen of India to participate in this survey as much as they can, so that more and more value could be added into the new National Curriculum Framework that is going to be created for the new education policy of India, which was launched in 2020. The National Education Policy on New Education Policy 2020 recommends the development of National Curriculum Framework. So, this policy recommended that we need to create a National Curriculum Framework, and that's what is under process currently. And this National Curriculum Framework is supposed to be created in 4 areas as per the National Education Policy 2020. These 4 areas are: number 1, school education; number 2, early childhood care and education, ECCE; then third is teacher education, and fourth one is adult education. So in these 4 areas, National Curriculum Framework has to be decided upon. Let's get into the details of National Curriculum Framework. This framework aims to empower and enable outstanding teaching and learning outcomes in the country. National Steering Committee (NSC), chaired by Dr K Kasturirangan, who is also a very eminent member of various other committees which have contributed a lot towards our nation in various aspects, and he also chaired the committee for creation or formation of new education policy. Now this National Steering Committee, he is chairing for creation of National Curriculum Framework in association with NCERT. So chaired by Dr K Kasturirangan along with National Council of Education, Research and Training, NCERT is heading the development of NCF. The NCF includes the National Curriculum Framework for School Education, NCFSE, the National Curriculum Framework for Early Childhood Care and Education, NCFECCE, the National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education, NCFTE, and National Curriculum Framework for Adult Education, NCFAE. So, 4 areas for which National Curriculum Framework has to be created. Please do remember this detail that Dr. K Kasturirangan is chairing the National Steering Committee for National Curriculum Framework in association with NCERT. Now, what is National Curriculum Framework? This is a framework for creation of syllabus, whether it be for school, for early childhood care and education, for teachers training, teachers education, and for adult education. So it's first of all deciding the syllabus, thereafter writing of textbooks and guidelines on the teaching practices itself. So all 3 of them together is being called a framework for education. For curriculum, there has to be a framework. What has been the past guidelines as far as this particular procedure was concerned? That is syllabus, textbooks and teaching practices. So in 1975, General Science as a compulsory subject, activity-based integrated science recommended up to class 10. This instruction was given. Thereafter, in 1988, science curriculum should be learner-centered, developed, well-defined abilities in cognitive, affective and psychomotor domains. This change came in. So you will see focus on making education more and more scientific is being put. Thereafter, in the year 2000, teaching of science and technology in upper primary and secondary part of environment studies in primary were recommended. In 2005, focus on learning without burden, reduction in syllabus including age appropriate concepts. These instructions were given. So basically, so far, a comprehensive national curriculum framework right from the beginning, from the scratch. We could actually keep something that is good even in this one from the previous curriculums that are going on, from the previous syllabus that is going on. Of course, absolute change is not possible because what will change? The concepts won't change. The history won't change, the geography won't change, and the economy, its concepts are not going to change altogether. But an overall curriculum has not yet been decided for anything. From time to time, changes have been introduced, something was added, something was subtracted in a particular subject with respect to a particular subject and so on. But this national curriculum framework is going to overhaul the whole syllabus, textbook and teacher practices or teaching practices altogether. So now you, from this very thing that I've told you, must be understanding that it becomes very crucial for the future of Indian education or future of education in India. So let's understand further about the significance of National Curriculum Framework. First of all, it aims at holistic development of children. Emphasis is being put on skilling of the learner. Teacher's role becomes really vital if maximum amount of outcome is to be derived out of new national curriculum framework. Then learning is going to be promoted in mother tongue. Even previously when I discussed about the national education policy, it was there that till 5th standard, mother tongue should be the language of instruction, and in fact till 8th standard it could be preferred as language of instruction by the learner. Then cultural rootedness has to be ensured. A step towards decolonization of Indian education system, since a lot about our education system we are carrying forward since the time of colonization itself. So I just told you previously that not much was absolutely changed. Few of the changes In fact, I would say minor changes were introduced, but such an overhauling was never done to Indian education system since the time of independence. In fact, from before that, a lot of things Indian education system was carrying forward, which were in fact introduced by the Britishers or colonial masters in India. So for actual decolonization, we need to start with the education system to decolonize the minds of the upcoming generation. And that's why it is very, very significant to bring about a new national curriculum framework for India, which the new education policy recommends about. Now, how, as I've told you, that a survey is going to be conducted, and in fact, the education minister has called upon the citizens to participate in the survey and contribute towards the creation of national curriculum framework. How this survey is going to be conducted, let's understand about those steps. How this implementation of surveying procedure going to happen. So at state level, on the basis of district level consultations, mobile app survey and development of position papers by state focus groups in 25 areas or themes identified as per National Education Policy 2020, all the states and UTs will first prepare their state curriculum frameworks, SCFs. Then states and UTs and autonomous organizations working under the Ministry of Education will provide inputs for national curriculum framework. So they will be creating their own state curriculum framework, thereafter using it as input for national curriculum framework, a very synthesized curriculum framework the government aims to come up with. And apart from that, at national level, NCERT is going to conduct a survey on My Government portal. Now, this is the survey you could participate in. On My Government portal, NCERT is conducting a survey and it is going to receive feedback from various stakeholders, and you are also a stakeholder in this particular survey, in this particular national curriculum framework, and in fact the whole education policy. So the stakeholders are going to give feedback on the issues related to curriculum implementation. So we have understood that a survey is going to be created, a national curriculum framework is being worked upon, new education policy has asked for it. But let's understand about what education holds, what place does education hold in Indian Constitution. So as far as constitutional provisions are concerned, Part 4 of the Indian Constitution, Article 45 and Article 39, Clause F of Directive Principles of State Policy, DPSP, has a provision for state-funded as well as equitable and accessible education. The 42nd Amendment to the Constitution in 1976 moved education from the state to the concurrent list. Thereafter, the 86th Amendment in 2002, which was a very crucial amendment, made education an enforceable right, that is, a part of fundamental right under Article 21A. Then, the Right to Education Act was passed in 2009, which aims to provide primary education to all children aged 6 to 14 years and enforces education as a fundamental right, mandating 25% reservation for disadvantaged sections of the society. So this was all about the news and the peripheral concepts that you would have required to know with regards to this news as far as your syllabus for UPSC CSE is concerned. I have touched upon each of that. Now I'm going to take you towards the prelims space practice question. Your question for today is: consider the following. Number 1, right to education. Number 2, right to equal access to public service. Number 3, right to food. Which of the above is a human right or human rights under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Your options are A, 1 only, B, 1 and 2 only, C, 3 only, and D, 1, 2 and 3. So look at these rights. Right to education is a fundamental right in India. So of course it's going to be a part of human right at international level, right? Now, equal access to public service. Okay, let's imagine there is a public toilet. Now, can you deny a person to not use that public service? No, you cannot. Everyone has equal claim to such basic necessities or any other public service that is being provided by their government. So, this is also a human right. Thereafter, right to food, because without food, what are the basic necessities of life? Food, shelter, clothing. So without food, human life is not possible. That's why human right also will have right to food internationally, right? So Universal Declaration of Human Rights will definitely have right to food also. So all three of them qualify as human rights, and hence your answer is D, 1, 2 and 3. Now, the mains practice question for today is, India faces challenges in providing quality education to its children and the youth. Discuss the importance of new education policy in the light of this statement. You will be answering this particular question in 250 words and send in your answers to us on WhatsApp to get them reviewed. This is it for today. I shall see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care, stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining in.